right, and welcome back to the podcast. We're here with Ryan Abrahams from Assertive.ai, and Ryan is the Chief Revenue Officer at Assertive Yield, and he has a career in AdTech Programmatic Sales, Admeld, MOBI, iMedia Brands, Cinecor, and Stack. And Ryan is responsible for driving new client acquisition and increasing sales while optimizing the company's brand and visibility within the publishing and advertising tech ecosystems. We're going to be talking about all sorts of cool, fun, geek stuff today: yield optimization, QPS, queries per second, revenue intelligence, assertive yield, and so much more. So, Ryan, glad to be talking to you.
Great to have me on, and yeah, it's a pleasure to speak about Assertive Yield. So we just jump in and give you a little bit of a highlight of our solution and what we do. What would be the best way to start? Yeah.
Yes, please. What's the elevator pitch?
Sure. So Assertive Yield is basically a real-time analytics platform. That product, we call it Yield Intelligence. Basically, we're one of the few companies in the whole world that can give you real-time reporting on your website to let you know exactly how much each user can generates in revenue, each article can generate in revenue in real time. And we like to think about this as the old way versus the new way. So the old way, a lot of websites would use data from yesterday to try and optimize what we call their programmatic advertising stack. But really there's a lot of problems there, in that if there's anything that breaks, if there is an error that's made on the website, or an advertiser doesn't want to bid anymore, you won't know that. So you'll lose that revenue today if you're doing it the old way, which is some of the other platforms out there that they look at revenue from yesterday. The new way, which is what Assertive Yield does, is really we look at the real-time revenue. So we can tell you up to until a minute ago exactly how much revenue each advertising partner is generating for you. So that's like one of the core things of what we do differently and our unique selling proposition.
And I like the way that you think in terms of you're mentioning things like how much money does each partner make for you, how much money per visitor, how much money per article. So that way there's not so much guessing. That way there's not that hesitation of, well, if I want to pay for ads at such and such platform and maybe it costs a lot per click. Well, as long as that cost is less than what the visitor value is, then it's a no-brainer to do all day long. And likewise, if you're like second guessing your content or saying like, is our business spending too much time or not enough time making content or too much money on this, you say, well, let's go back and look at the numbers. As long as that top number is bigger than the bottom number, then we're positive.
That's correct. So a lot of companies that acquire traffic, what we call some of the arbitrage companies, use our platform to really understand in real time, if they buy a user from Facebook, exactly how much revenue they're going to make from that user. And we have machine learning that will actually predict how much money they will make for that user. Many companies have stopped using their own design platforms and started using us because ours was better. So that's one way they use us. For general, like premium websites, companies like Lad Bible and Investing Channel, they use us differently to understand how much revenue each article is making, so that their editors can then know exactly what they should be spending, like which articles they should focus on more to provide a higher yield and higher revenue for the website. So they can use that as well, because we have that granularity of reporting down to the user level, down to the article level.
And have you come across any difficulty in the adoption of some of these tools? Because as you know, you can have all the coolest tools, all sorts of AI and tracking and knowing how your existing traffic is working and playing around with new traffic tools. But then if you can't get your team's head around using it and having fun with it and seeing results, then it's kind of dead in the water. So have you encountered any sort of resistance or difficulty with these companies using your tools?
Not really. I mean, so we have a really good customer success team. So the other thing to mention about our company, Assertive Yield, is that we allow every new website to test our product for free for 2 weeks to a month. So we validate like our technology with them without them having to put one dime forward. So there's really no risk. So basically, during that POC, the proof of concept or the free trial, whatever you want to call it, we will then show them how to really create the right dashboard reports, how to optimize their individual like programmatic stack is what we want to call it, because every website is different. Every website has different metrics, KPIs, right? So we like to look at each customer individually, and our team will come on board and say, hey, these are the things that we think you should do in order to optimize your website. The partners, maybe you're not working with these partners, because we work with over 70 partners. We can see some industry trends. We also have a product that shows you how you're performing in the industry, a benchmarking tool product versus other websites too. So we can give you like very key insights as to whether if you're performing below or you're performing above some of the competition as well.
That sounds fantastic, and it seems like that there are there's always that thought of, okay, there's what I'm already tracking, and then there's what I'm not tracking and I know I should be, and then you're even venturing into this territory of the numbers I don't even know that I should be looking into, and that's pretty cool. Like comparing how you're doing within the industry. And so in our conversation so far, Ryan, like we've kind of peppered in a few kind of fun little companies and examples, but what I think would be really fun is for you to share like a client success story of some kind if you have one, because that's always really cool to say, like, you know, such and such company came to us and needed Assertive Yield and used it and really changed the trajectory of their business. So do you have any sort of fun case studies like that to share with us?
Yeah, so we're working on a case study with a company called Enthusiast Gaming, where they're really able to use our platform to leverage their traffic acquisition efforts, like as I mentioned before. So they use us to spend a ton of money through our platform to really understand which users to buy better. And when they acquire those users, our platform gives them the most granular data on a user session level to understand, okay, this user is more profitable than this other user. So that's one of our larger partners that we've had a long working relationship with them. Another company recently, Lad Bible, implemented us because they weren't doing real-time revenue tracking. They were using another platform that gave them the data from the day before. And when the business intelligence teams and the analytics teams saw the platform, they realized that we're one of the few platforms in the industry that you can slice and dice data in hundreds and hundreds of different dimensions. Really, there's almost no limits to how many different ways you can analyze data in real time. So they've been able to increase yield, to increase optimization, and to really understand which partners provide them with the most revenue in real time, and which partners to test in different geos. For example, utilizing the benchmarking tool, they're able to see how they're performing versus other industry, other websites in the industry too. So those are two examples. We've really grown organically without having a direct salesperson. They hired me in July of last year. They hired a marketing team just last year, and we've grown 3 to 4x year over year without even having direct sales. What we have in the pipeline now for this year and for next year, we're going to be growing like 4 or 5, maybe 6x this year with what we've done in the last 6 months. And there's a bunch of really premium brands that I can't mention today that will be testing our platform for free in the next few months. And I'd say 80 to 90% of the clients that test our platform then come on board as paying clients afterwards. So what's in store for us is very exciting. We are a rocket ship, and I'm very, very grateful and blessed to be leading the sales efforts here.
And I'm excited for you, and I can tell how much fun you have with all the possibilities. Like you're mentioning, slicing and dicing the data. We talked a few minutes ago about kind of looking at kind of like that average visitor value, and even just now this idea of kind of looking at like your top tier people, right? Like who are your top followers, your top website visitors, and then focusing on more of that. And so as far as all the amazing things that your platform does, is there some feature of it that is not used enough, or that is just kind of like cutting edge that you feel like talking about?
Sure. So getting back to the queries per second question. So we do have a product called Traffic Shaping that is brilliant. It's it literally reduces the carbon emissions across the internet. So from a green perspective, it's lovely. So queries per second is essentially the amount of requests for information per second a server receives. So it's a little bit broader. It's hard to like explain without explaining the whole ecosystem a little bit. So every website, for all the ads that they have on their site, they work with what you call an SSP, a supply side platform. That supply side platform has a number of different advertisers. Let's say dozens and dozens of advertisers that bid on inventory in real time. So every time you go to a website and I go, literally there could be 30 different what we call bidders. Those are called DSPs, demand side platforms, bidding on you and I in real time in less than a second, in milliseconds. Now, what happens in the queries per second story is that SSPs will send a number of requests, millions of requests to DSPs for just you and I, right? And some of them are what we call unwanted requests because the DSPs will never bid on that person. The reason is they may just not have the right targeting criteria. Maybe that DSP, that buyer, that advertiser is looking for a car, somebody that's interested in a car. And maybe you and I just haven't been looking for a car in the last 30 or 60 days. So what our product traffic shaping does is it uses machine learning to really predict the probability of whether or not a demand side platform will bid on that user or not, and whether or not the supply side platform should send a request to the user. Because there's a lot of waste and unwanted requests being sent, what we're effectively able to do is we work with the SSP, the supply side platform, to reduce the amount of unwanted requests that are sent to DSPs. What this effectively does is it reduces their server cost and also increases revenue sometimes by 6 to 12% for that website that they're sending to the DSP. So it's a little bit complicated to explain, and it's really hard to explain queries per second by just saying this is queries per second. But our traffic shaping product, we're working with a number of the largest SSPs in the world to effectively reduce waste. And that's so important right now in the whole world, right? Like there's so much waste that goes on from a carbon imprint perspective. We're essentially reducing the carbon imprint, increasing revenue, and increasing the overall efficiency between the SSP and the domain. So that's a product that we're very excited about. We're going to be doing case studies with some other companies in the industry that measure carbon imprint. Don't want to necessarily say the name yet because we're in the process of getting it done. But yeah, that's one product we're very excited about. Lastly, there's another product called Yield Manager that we're very excited about, which is a platform that allows websites to manage their whole advertising ecosystem with our platform, to A/B test new partners in real time, and to have that real-time reporting that other people don't have to measure, okay, we released a new version of the website. Oh, maybe we should pull it back because it generated less revenue. The users didn't like it. So it's one of those platforms that allows you to manage your entire advertising stack and to really optimize it to generate more revenue, to control the user experience, and to create that right balance between advertising and user experience. So sorry, that was a mouthful, but
that's okay. But it's good to get into your mindset when you're all about things being real time, about things being predictive, about working with today's data, not yesterday's data. And I mean, the technology's here. There's no reason why you should be combing back over stats from 3 months ago and trying to make sense of it. I mean, as fast as things change, I mean, it would be crazy to think like if like Facebook or Yahoo News or New York Times was looking at last month's data as fast as things change, and they wouldn't be able to like quickly adapt, or they would just be guessing and not basing on data. And unfortunately, I imagine that a lot of business owners are just guessing and need your platform and need your tool. And so in the first, say, like 30 days of using your platform, what's the step-by-step process like between, setting up the account, like adding a pixel to their website, kind of configuring a dashboard, et cetera? Like, what's the plan?
It's very straightforward. Websites can sign up for our platform free online at our website, assertiveyield.com. You get a script that you can pull from signing up for the account. You put that script directly on your page, or you put it in what we call Google Tag Manager, which is a a management platform where a lot of people use to manage their advertising. Within minutes of implementing that script, you'll actually have some data. But there are some partners that we work with, like video players, as well as native companies like Taboola and Outbrain, that require you to send an email to your account manager, because we already have integrations with them. Once you do that, you'll get access to the reporting, and sometimes within days you can have a full view of reporting. Within the first days, our team will look at it and say, hey, this is how we suggest you generate more revenue. These are the things, these are the learnings that we've seen over the last 3 years that we've had our platform, that you can optimize. Maybe in this geography, we think you should work with this partner because we've seen better performance. So we have a number of learnings that we've received, the benchmark tool I mentioned before, that'll help you to optimize and really generate more revenue. In general, most people, the people that implement our site, within I think 2 weeks, they generally are able to increase yield by making certain changes, by really doing it the new way versus the old way, as I mentioned, right? Like really looking at things in real time and generating optimization strategies that are related to real time rather than looking at it from yesterday.
Well, fantastic. And so I imagine that if some companies out there are dreading the optimization and working with their stats, it's probably because they're doing that old model, and they need to get with the 21st century and use your tool and use your platform and use your approach of saying, first, just get up and running, just get started, then kind of do this sort of best guess based on your industry and what you think might happen, but then let the data pile up, and then you can really see in real time what to do to adjust. And that way you're working with real numbers, and that way you're working with all this up-to-date data, and that way it can become fun again, and it can become a thing where you make a change on your site and you actually see the result very quickly instead of just making changes and hoping it all works out. And so you said the logical next step for someone to go to is assertiveyield.com. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct. 1 second.
Okay, so we were able to.
That was my dog. Sorry, my dog barking in the background.
Oh, that's okay. He's excited. He's excited about assertiveyield.com as well. So when people go over there to assertiveyield.com, is there any type of business that is not a good fit for this tool versus the type of business that is, or is this just for anybody?
Well, anybody can use it. And I think it's up to 10 million page views a month. Below that is free to use. So yes, anybody can use it, but really it's more about the more premium websites that have a complicated programmatic advertising stack. They work with multiple different advertisers, multiple buyers in the programmatic ecosystem. They work with different video players. They want to test which video player works better. So it's really for the more complicated team that has, ad ops people, programmatic people, product people, engineering people, really looking at how to optimize yield. And one thing to mention is the timing is really key right now. So if you look at a lot of companies out there, there's a ton of publishers that have just let off many people, because last year we saw, like in the last 3 months of last year, that there was less revenue across the advertising ecosystem than there was the year before. And many companies, well, because of inflation or whatever other reason, has had to let go. Many websites have had to let go of people. One of the things to mention about our platform is that from a cost perspective, we're very competitive. In fact, we're more cost competitive than all of the other companies out there. So you can get real cost savings by working with us at a very critical time when websites are looking at every single thing on the balance sheet to try and optimize their yield and to try and generate more revenue. And two, to really be more smart about it, to really understand and really look at the data and make the right optimizations to generate more revenue. So I think those two things of saving money, being a cost savings, and being a revenue center, allowing you to have the right real-time data, the right tools to really understand your users better, to understand which articles drive more revenue, which user you should buy, if you're buying traffic on your website too. We provide all those tools, and we allow you to test it for free, because we're built for publishers by publishers. Our founder Nils built the platform from the ground up for his own websites, I worked for websites for the first 10 years of my career, a division of the New York Times. So we really come from a publisher website DNA. And we're really like we are empowering websites to really look at their data and to optimize their data in a different way, in a real-time way.
Well, fantastic. Well, this is a much needed service, especially as you said, if there's a website out there that has this programmatic stack and all these different kind of partners linked together. And as you said, up to 10 million views per month is free. So sign up, use it, get used to it. You're going to love it. AssertiveYield.com. Go there right now. And thank you, Ryan, for showing up and sharing just some really cool insights and some really cool ideas. Your energy is infectious. I appreciate you a lot.
Robert, thanks so much for having me. Hope you have a great Martin Luther King Day the rest of the day. And yeah, we'd love to speak with you guys again. And I hope you have a great day. And yeah, Assertive Yield, we're doing big things. We're really excited. But most of all, we're authentic. We do what we say, and we really provide tools to publishers that nobody else. So for me, it's an absolute pleasure to be the CRO here and to lead the company, because we provide an authentic, really innovative solution for our websites.